Good day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. We trust that you have had a fantastic and amazing weekend. We enjoy doing these episodes, sharing this powerful message of living life beyond a break, be it a heartbreak or a break in a success. And we just anticipate, we get excited to be back here with you to share this message, to support you in now what? That's today's message. Now what? You know, you're beyond the break. The dust has settled. You understand where you are. You see things for what they really are. You have no choice but to accept this life now on the other side of this break. So now what? Welcome my co-host Tichet Bradshaw to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. It is a day that we can do what we never did, go where we never gone, and have what we never had. It is such a beautiful day to be alive.
It most certainly is. And you hear us say that all of the time. Dr. Toni Hatton, I have something that I want you to do right now. Click that subscribe button because you definitely want to be informed and notified when we go live, when we upload another video, when we have another message to share, because you never know when you're going to hear something that's going to shift your life forever. You never know when you're going to hear something that's going to help you get through something. So click the subscribe button, click like, and click that notification button as well. Also, you want to share this. There's a share button on this page. You want to share this message because if it's blessing you, if it's changing your life, if it's helping you overcome some struggles, if it's bringing you clarity, it'll do the same thing for others. So make sure you do that. Again, Dr. Toni Hatton here from the Attractive Thinker, your Break the Cycle specialist. If you haven't already done so, visit the website, theattractivethinker.guru. Place your name in that box and get your free gift. It's a series of 5 videos. You're going to get 1 video a day in your email to support you in turning your problems into your solutions. Tichet, before we even get started, tell our attractive thinkers how they can connect with you, the visual encourager.
Yes, again, you can go to my website at www.visualencouragement.com, where I provide mental support for movers and shakers, trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers, those who are yearning to move mountains but just need some support lifting the heaviness so they can create a new vision for themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information. Let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so that you can live a life of fulfillment. Let me help you discover the joy within. And that's visualencouragement.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to share this information with the attractive thinkers before we get started so they know how to connect. This is not a one-off message. You want to stay connected to Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance on our YouTube channel because the resources, the mental tools that we share, the information, the solutions that we share will support you in getting through the things that you have to encounter in life. Life is inevitable. Some things will happen. There are things that will happen that are our fault, or our responsibility. Let's use that word. And there are things that will happen that they're just out of your control. It was nothing that you could do. And if you're like us, so many times things happen in our lives, and we try to see what responsibility did I have in it. Could I have done anything different? We experienced that. Tichet and I have both had heartbreaks in our lives. This is why Beyond the Break exists. And during a heartbreak, you go inward. One of the first experiences that we have is we go through the name blame game, like shoulda, coulda, woulda, or we also try to flip scenarios and we try to weigh, well, if I had said this, then maybe this would have happened, or if I had done this, that could have happened, or if I had been there, that wouldn't have happened, or if I hadn't been there, that would have. We go through all of these scenarios trying to find a reason for why something happened. And sometimes it's just beyond your control. Sometimes it's a destiny moment. these defining moments become destiny moments when you're an attractive thinker, when you have your heart open, when you know who you are and you refuse to quit. You refuse to die on the battlefield. I want you to understand something, attractive thinker. After the break, after the heartbreak, be it a break in a success or a heartbreak, now what? Now that you're in this unfamiliar space, because experiencing a heartbreak can take you to an unfamiliar space. It turns life upside down. Your priorities are shifted. The things that used to be important are no longer important, and the things that that weren't even in your view, weren't even on your radar, now they're the number one priority. A break has the tendency to do that. But what do I do now? I'm sitting here in this heartbreak. There's nothing that I can do about it. I can't go back and change anything. I can't prevent it from happening if I tried. Now what? Where do I go from here? Who am I now? How do I show up in the world now? Where is my meaning now? Because the meaning that I have for life, the thing that, caused me to jump out of the bed in the morning, I don't have that now. It's like my life slipped right through my fingers. I lost my grip. When you have a grip on life, you can expedite your process. You're moving about, you're taking action, you're multitasking, you're sharp, you have clarity and that confidence that the action that you're taking is creating a great life for yourself. But when you hit a defining moment, when you experience a defining moment, a break in your life, it changes the game. So if it changes the game, it also shifts your identity and your personality. Whereas you may have been an outgoing person, now you're more reserved. Whereas you were a joyful person, a life of the party, now you don't feel connected. You don't have that joy. You're not as confident. What is life like now? Now what? Attractive thinker. How do you, Tichet, tell our audience, and I know you have a lot to say about this message today, but also share with our audience, where do you start after you
Absolutely.
experience a break? Where do you start?
You start with the meaning. You said something different. Well, nothing different because we've been saying this over and over again in our series. But you said the shoulda, woulda, and coulda. We get stuck in it. Those are hindrances. Recognizing that, number one, what your hindrances are. But why are they your hindrances? Not just, oh, it's a hindrance to me because it's a hindrance to you. But why is that your hindrance? Going through your whys, so you want to flip the script. You want to go from shoulda, woulda, and coulda, where you get caught up in the woe, you get caught up in the, oh, I can't, you can't do anything about what happened right now, and flip the script to go towards the now what, right? When you flip the script from I coulda, woulda, and shoulda to now what, now you're going from hindering yourself, being stuck in the past, to making forward movements, being open to whatever's being taught. When you understand where you are, who you are, when you were talking, Dr. Toni, I thought this. I thought meaning means everything. What you give meaning to, how you identify with everything means everything, because it's how you shape your life, it's how you move forward, it's how you do a thing, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And pay attention to how you do everything. 9 times out of 10, you'll see the same meaning in it all. The way you spend your money, the way you spend your time, and the way you spend your energy might all have the same habits. So you have to figure out, what is your foundation? What is your meaning to life? Finding out the meaning to your life is figuring out who you are. Why did that thing happen? Why did we go through that? What were the germs that was taken from that? And where do I use that now? Where do I take this? Okay, I went through my past. I got my gems from my journey. Now what do I do with it? I learned all of these things. Now what do I do with it? I didn't go through anything for it to be in vain. I understand that things didn't happen to me. They happened for me. Now what do I do for this, with this information, right? You have to understand the cycle of stuff. You learn it so you can teach it, so you can learn it so you can teach it. Everything is a cycle. You bring it in, you put it out. You bring it in, you put it out. The same thing with your energy. You put out positive energy, you bring back positive energy. Put out positive energy, bring back positive energy. And you might say, I was having a good day putting out positive energy, and then this negative thing happened. How you identify with what happened is what makes it positive and negative. Identifying with something happening to you versus for you, you might make that into a negative experience. But when you understand that it happened for you and not to you, you turn it into a positive experience. So just because that thing happened to you does not have to be a negative experience. You can sit here and be walking on the sidewalk, minding your business, watching the birds fly, having a good time in the sun, soaking up some of the sun rays, right? It's a beautiful day. The butterflies is going by. You having such a great day in the silence and in nature. And then boom, you trip over a rock and bust your head. Now you gotta go to the ER and you're talking about something, and that person might have your answer in that ER. But if you're so caught up in the, oh, my head, you're not even open to receive the answer that that person might have for you. But when you understand, okay, if I bust my head open and I'm going here, it happened for a reason. Something's going on. You start looking for solution. You start looking for gems. You start saying, okay, something happened, and let me see what's happening. Your eyes is wide open. You're looking for anything, right? And then because you understand you're building life here, right? So you build your life based on who you are. You build your life based on the meaning of what you identify with when you're building your life, basically, right? So if you are busting your head wide open, you're looking for, oh, that something has to happen from this. Something must be, if I gotta go to the ER, then there's something there waiting for me, and I want to keep my eyes open. This is an example of things happening for you versus to you. And then you say, okay, well, what's going on? So you're looking around at people, you're not looking at them as flesh and blood, you're looking at spirits. You're looking at what's the spirit of that person? What do they know? What is their story? How can they help? And you start being a little more social. How were you feeling, talking to people? And that person tell you their life story where they just made it through what you thought you couldn't make it through. And they say, oh, child, go down there and get this from that person, and they'll help you. And now you got an address and all this stuff. But had you not bust your head wide open, you wouldn't have an answer. You wouldn't even know how to cure yourself in certain things. You wouldn't even know that there was an answer had you not bust your head on a rock. So really and truly, all things work together for the good. All things, not just some things, not just anything, all things work together for good. So if your house burned down, it worked together for good. Something was trying to give you a new one. If you lost some things, okay, you cleaned out your closet. There's the ability to accept new ones. That when you understand life and death, you understand what happens there. You're not looking at it from a victim standpoint. You understand life will go on. Life is such a beautiful gift, and it is a cycle. It goes on. So in that loss of life, yes, we miss the person, but you understand that that person lives on. That person is no longer playing this game that we doing in this world of suffering. So you understand, when you understand a thing, when you give a thing meaning, when you understand your perception. Dr. Toni, you always talk about shifting your life from sight to vision, because we can look at sight all day long. We grew up with sight, but when you have vision, it changes the meaning of everything. Your perception of how you view a thing it's how you end up moving. It shifts your energy. It turns that negative energy into positive energy. And when something turns it into positive energy, it increases your hope. When you increase your hope, you're looking for anything. You're like a child. Oh, what's this? What's that? What's under here? Now you got the strength to explore. You got the strength to look under the stuff to see what's going on.
Mm.
So you're looking for your answers, and guess what you find? Your answer, your solution. So you weren't caught up in a problem. You turned your problems into solution. Dr. Tony, you just got finished saying that, and that is what I wanted to bring to attention. You want to get used to either being the solution, finding the solution, or teaching the solution, however you can see fit. Back to you, Dr. Tony.
I like that, Tichet. That's awesome right there. You know, attractive thinkers, I want you to understand something. When we talk about beyond the break, we're talking about how do you live life beyond a break? Be it a heartbreak or a break in a success. You go from one success to the other, but in between those successes, your life, you know, goes back to some type of normalcy. When you're in the process of achieving a success and you're working towards something, you're at an elevated place of energy and excitement and anticipation. And once you achieve and accomplish that particular success, you go back to life in some type of normalcy, and your energy balances out until you accomplish the next success. So how do you live between those two successes? How do you live life after a heartbreak? And the first thing I want you to understand, attractive thinker, is in order to, like Tichet was sharing with you, how to live life beyond a break. In order for you to even get to that stage of awareness after a break, you have to guard your heart. You have to put your heart first. You have to nurture your heart. You have to pay attention to your heart, and you have to properly care for and get help for your heart. Because after a break, let's talk about a heartbreak. After a heartbreak, think about what we just said. Your heart broke. Your heart is everything. Your heart is where you do everything, where you accomplish everything. It's where you dream, it's where your dreams live. When you think about your heart, it is valuable. It is so important. It's the essence. It's everything about you. It's your spirit. It's where your dreams and your ideas come from. So if your heart breaks, it needs your number one attention. It needs all of your attention. So paying attention to our heart after a heartbreak, when you say, now what? Now what? Pay attention to your heart. That's the first thing. Guard your heart. Nurture, care for, love on your heart. Be patient with your heart, because your heart, when it breaks, it begins to speak. Things leak out. Other things can get in. And you got to, if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention, some things can get in your heart that you don't want in there, like bitterness and anger and resentment and shame. Think about that, attractive thinker. During a heartbreak, when something breaks, something leaks out, and it's a possibility, it's now open and accessible for something to get in. When you stand guard with your heart, you make sure bitterness does not set in. I was working with a client for years, on and off, and I was telling them, I had to be clear. I kept emphasizing, I understand how you feel about your experiences. What I don't want you to do while we're working on and walking you through these experiences, don't let bitterness set in, because it'll be hard to clean up a bitter heart. Don't let bitterness set in. Let's continue to work through this. Let's continue to understand why your heart broke as a result of that. Let's continue to understand, how do you mend a broken heart? How do you heal from a broken heart? Let's continue to do that, and not let things that you don't want. And see, when the heart breaks, you're exposed. And any and everything that wants access to your heart now has an opportunity to access your heart. You have to stand guard and pay attention. After a heartbreak, resentment can seep in. And you have to, when you're standing guard, you recognize resentment when it walks up. You recognize resentment when it shows up. And you say, you know what? It would be real easy for me to slip into resentment, but I don't want a resentful heart. I didn't have a resentful heart before this break, and I'm not going to open myself up to a resentful heart. It'll be easy because your heart is broken. It's wide open. It's open. It's like the door is open. It's like your front door is open. It's easy for a fly to come in because the door is open. Before your heart broke, it was hard for a fly to come in, for guilt and shame and resentment and anger and bitterness to come in, because your heart wasn't broken open. I want you to think about that. So you have to pay attention to your heart. Be careful with your heart. Be mindful of your heart. Love your heart. Have some patience with your heart. It's broke. If you broke your leg, you wouldn't continue to run the marathon. You wouldn't abuse your leg like that. You wouldn't continue to, try to walk or jog or go up and down the steps like nothing happened. Your heart broke. Something did happen. The very core, the very essence, the most important thing about you broke. So you have to stop and pay attention to that. You have to take some time to mend your broken heart and get other resources that will support you in mending your broken heart. We talk about now what? Today's message is about now what? How about now pay attention to your heart? How about now nurture and care for and help your heart heal? How about now listen closely to what your heart is saying? Because the heart speaks. Think about that. The heart speaks through your mouth. Scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So pay attention. You know what's in your heart by paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth. And I know what it feels like to have a heartbreak. In the beginning, you're probably not even thinking about using any attractive thinker tools or any support and tips from the visual encourager. But over time, and it doesn't take a lot of time when you're an attractive thinker. It does not take a lot of time for you to remember who you are. And once you do, then you're mindful of what's coming out of your mouth. In the beginning, you might say things like, you know what? I knew something like this was going to happen. Or you know what? Well, I don't know what in the world made me think I was going to be successful anyway. I don't know why I believed that I could accomplish this anyway. I don't know what made me think I was going to be happy anyway. See, when the heart breaks, the mouth speaks. So pay attention to what comes out of your mouth when your heart breaks. Because, and here's something else that's coming up for me to share while I'm talking about that. Could that have been in your heart anyway? See, when the heart breaks, things are exposed. You may have been struggling with some things you didn't have an answer to. Now that the heart is broken, you get to see what's in there. You get to see what's in there. You may have been taking action and wondering why you're not successful. It's because of really deep down inside of your heart, you don't believe you can reach that level of success anyway. So when your heart breaks, it's exposed. Sift through, like Tichet said, turn some things over, look under some things, find out what's in there. Because when the heart is not broken, it's hidden. And it's hard to find out what's in your heart when your heart is closed. It's hard to discover your blocks and your fears and your doubts and your beliefs and your truths when your heart is closed. So I think we did an episode on the benefits of being broken. Go back and read that. Go back and listen to that. Go back and hear that message again. The benefits of being broken so you can discover your treasure and you don't leave your treasure in your pain. Tichet, you said something and it made me write this down. You said, don't get caught up in the whoa, what just happened? Whoa, why did this happen? You said, don't get caught up in the shoulda, coulda, woulda. You said, flip the script from the shoulda, coulda, woulda to now what? And as soon as you say now what, you begin to feel possibilities. You feel that shift. As soon as you say now what, it's like you just open the door where endless possibilities exist. You just opened yourself up to life beyond the break. You just gave yourself an opportunity to see what's over here for me. Because when the heart breaks, there's no turning back. There may be nothing to go back to. So you're forced to move forward. And when you're forced to move forward, you want to move forward with the right lens of perception. Another thing you mentioned, Tichet, you said something about identity. How you identify with what happened determines your outcome as well. How you identify with it, how you see yourself in it, how you see this as your experience, as you experiencing this, you're walking throughout life and you're excited about life and you're accomplishing things and you're excited about the people you're around and you anticipate waking up in the morning, and then life happens, a defining moment, a heartbreak, or whatever that might be. What is life like now? How do you show up now? How do you even identify with that? When you do your work as an attractive thinker and a visual encourager, when you do your work, your mind is already ready for the break. Your mind, you already have the capacity to handle the break. You're already positioned for the break. So when it happens, the way you identify with it, like Tichet said, is based on the posture of your mental state. All the work that you do every day on your mind is positioning you to handle whatever it is you have to encounter on your journey to abundance, success, life in it more abundantly, whatever that might be for you, on your journey to evolving into a higher version of yourself. So now what? When you experience life, your now what is determined by who you know that you already are. Back to you, Tichet.
That is good. That is so good. When you talk about the now what, the energy behind your now what makes the difference. Because we have two different types of now what. Everybody watching this is in a different state of their now what. Some of us are in a state of, oh, now what? What happened? What's going on now? You're expecting the other shoe to drop. You're expecting the carpet to pull up under you. You're expecting the heartbreak. You're expecting it to come in so that you can still feel like the victim. Believe it or not, some of y'all are willing in your energy that you don't want. Some of y'all are willing in situations that you don't want to happen. Why? Because that's what you're used to. You are putting that energy out. When you are waiting for something bad to happen, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But you are aligning yourself, identifying with when it rains, it pours. So guess what? Rather it rains or pours, or rather he rains, he pours. You are absolutely correct. What you believe is absolutely correct for your life. So when we talk about that now what versus okay now what, now what we do. Some of y'all are in the, oh, now what do we do? Now what can we get into? Now what can I get my hands into? Some of you are excited about your now what. Like I learned, and then some of you are, I got all of these jewels. Now what do I do with it? I got all of this overflow. I got released my overflow. Now what do I do with it? Some of you are in the now what, like, okay, now what's going to happen? And then what? You are watching the story unfold right before your eyes. So some of us are in a different stage of now what, but where you are in that stage makes a difference in the world. I want to go back to when you, Dr. Toni, when you talked about having that bitterness and that resentment in our heart. And our heart break, and we're holding on to the bitterness, we're holding on to the hardness of our heart. Somehow we manage to believe that that's protecting us. We're protecting our heart. We close off our heart so nothing can get in it and nothing can get out of it. So even though you can't accept the bad, you also can't accept the good. You can't put out the bad, but you're not putting out the good because you're so closed up. We're so afraid of getting our heart broke again and again and again. That's the belief that she's talking about, is at the root. You believe that you're going to get hurt over and over again. You say, well, visual encourager, I've never got my heart broke just once. You know, people have broken my heart many times. Okay, but did you change in that process? Or did you go back to that situation the same as you were? Because let me tell you something. Nothing in your life will change until you do. You have to change first. You have to change in the energy. You might say, well, I didn't call for this to happen, and I didn't. But do you find that you're in the same situations over and over again? Same game, different face? You say it always happens to me. That doesn't seem um, not coincidental to you? Nothing is coincidental. All things serve a purpose. So if you find yourself in the same situation over and over again, then it's time to change either you, your environment, or the people that you are around. So another thing, Dr. Toni, that you said, that we was talking about with the resentment and the bitterness is what that energy brings to you, what that hardness of your heart brings to you. That weighs you down. So even if your blessing showed up, you so weighed down you can't reach for it. So when you are letting go of bitterness and you're letting go of resentment, you are letting go of bags that keep you weighed or make you feel like you're drowning. You're in the ocean. You were designed to float. But because you decide to carry all the baggages from everything that ever happened to you, it's now weighing you down in the water. So now you got to swim harder and harder and harder, right? You don't see the shore anywhere. It's not that it's not anywhere. You just don't see it because you don't know where you are in the ocean. So you're swimming and you panicking and you swimming and you panicking and you're getting tired. And you're feeling like, oh, I need to give up in this moment. And you're feeling like it's dragging you down and I'm tired, not realizing you were created to win. You were created to float. That if you take the time and just stop, relax, let go, forgive the situation that you're in, your body will flow automatically. Your body was designed to keep you alive by any means necessary. It's designed to keep you alive. There's some of us that think fevers are the worst thing in the world, but fevers will help get rid of viruses. Your body, when your body experiences something that it's not supposed to have, your body will heat up in order to get rid of viruses. I've been studying that thing, coming up with this whole thing been going on in this pandemic. You know, your body is meant to keep you alive. I remember, feeling like I just didn't feel good. Your body feel tight. Your body is trying to tell you something. Rest. I also was looking at quicksand stuff. I think I was telling you this, Dr. Toni, when we were talking about quicksand and what to do if you find yourself stuck in quicksand. The last thing you want to do is panic. The last thing you want to do is play victim. The last thing you want to do is the woe is me. Because then you start doing what you think is coming natural. You start moving your feet and trying to get out. And the more you do it, the more you sink, the more you're tired, the deeper you are. But you know what they say to do? They say the first thing you want to do is relax back. I said, relax back? That's the last thing I would have thought to do. Relax back and offer the top of me will already seem like it consumed the bottom half. They said, no, you gotta first know what the quicksand is. It's a mixture of water, sand, and cement. When you relax back, it allows your body to float to the top so you're not adding resistance, which is making you sink. So when you start floating to the top, when you lean back and you let go, and your bottom half will start floating to the top, now you can kind of move yourself slowly to shore or to a space, a solid foundation. And I said, I would have never thought to do that, but this is why people get stuck, because they don't have the knowledge and the tools to help them maneuver through situations that is uncalled for. Really, it's situations that sometimes they're called for because we weren't paying attention. And you talk about the heart, Dr. Toni, until we understand that the heart is the treasure, it is the gift, and we treat it as such, there's no telling what we're calling towards it. Because when you mistreat a precious thing, it's bound to get broken. When you don't guard it with diligence, and guard it doesn't mean you don't allow things in and out. It means that you monitor what goes in and out. Because some of us are so closed off, and that's not what we want to be. That's what we feel like we have to be in this harsh world, but we don't. There's a whole, so out of billions of people in this world, you can't find one that acts, thinks, or think like you, or believe like you. You can't find a tribe. You can't find people to connect with. You gotta look somewhere different. If you can't find anybody in your space and circle who who is not looking to just take and not give, or who is not talking about you behind your back, who you can't trust, and you feel like they always doing something, you always gotta watch yourself with them. If you find yourself in that area, change yourself, right? Because once you change yourself, you change your tolerance of those people. And you'll recognize that from the start. Soon as somebody walk up on you that's not you, listen, if you're a female and a male walks up on you, you know that's a male. There's a difference in energy with that male. If you're a male and a female walk up on you, you know that's a female. There's a different energy concerning that female. So when you are not something and that thing walks up on you, you like, oh, you're not, and then you put people in their proper place. So you don't have people who's supposed to be attached to you, knowing all your stuff, and they running around with evil spirits, or they're running around with jealous spirits. You're not gonna just let them close to you. You're not gonna let them hold your stuff if they can't take care of their own stuff. You're not gonna look for a significant other who can't take care of himself. You're not gonna expect him to take care of you. You take care of you, and then you'll start to attract other people who are like you, and y'all can lean on each other. Dr. Toni and I, we always learning. What you got? What you got? I got this. I learned this. We come together Mindset Monday with a whole heap of stuff, even if we just got finished talking on Friday. We come with a whole heap of stuff because we are truth seekers. We're always looking for the truth. So we will share everything that we found, just in case it's not helpful to me, it might be helpful to her. But I'm attracting people who are like-minded, but I had to change first. So again, nothing in your life changes until you do. And that doesn't mean that you can't receive what you're wishing for, because sometimes when you grow, some of your dreams and goals change along with that too. You might be wanting something and you don't know, you know how they say, be careful what you wish for. You don't know what you're wishing for. You're wishing for the root of that thing, and sometimes you might not want the root of that thing. So your life will change when you do. Your wishes, your goals, your dreams, your visions, your statements, everything you live by, and surely your meaning will change when you do. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Tichet, you said a couple of things, and I have an entire page of tips and points that I wanted to bring out based on what you said. Attractive thinkers, Tichet said, pay attention to your energy. For what? For what? We hear that all of the time. It's not so much paying attention to your energy if you don't know why. I've had that experience in my life so many times. People, leaders, say to do something, but there's a missing piece. Because how many times have you heard someone, that you respect tell you to do something, be it a parent, a teacher, a pastor, your boss, or a fellow entrepreneur, or leadership in business, or whatever it might be, a speaker, they tell you to do something and you don't know why. You do it and then you're like, okay, so what's supposed to become of this? Pay attention to your energy. Before you even start paying attention to your energy, you need to know why. For what? What am I looking for? Pay attention to your energy. And you answered it right after you said it, Tichet. You said because your heart is everything. If you don't see your heart as valuable, why pay attention to it? If you don't think that your heart is everything, if you don't know that your heart controls everything that you do and the reasons why you do, if you don't know that, then you're not going to think that it's important to pay attention to your energy. Like Tichet was saying, what that means when she was describing about the different people you can find yourself around and how you feel around them. That's what pay attention to your energy means. Your heart is it's subtle. It's not forceful. It's not going to, be a bully. It's not going to bully you. It's not going to try and make you do something. You have to honor your energy, honor your heart, and pay attention to it. Something or someone comes into your presence and your heart feels a certain way. It's like a flower. Either your heart opens up or your heart closes. Pay attention to that, attractive thinker. It's an indication we could forfeit a lot of drama and poor decisions in our lives if we just tune in to that subtle movement of energy, our heart, because it knows the way and it knows what environment you belong in and what environment you do not belong in. It knows how to help you heal. It knows what's going on in your energy. Another thing you said, Tichet, you said when you speak, you align. That stood out to me. When you speak, you are aligning, fine tuning. These are the notes that I wrote down. You're fine tuning yourself to what's coming out of your mouth. When you speak, you are aligning your life with the words that come out of your mouth. You are shaping your life. You're shaping your outcomes. When you speak, your things shift. Words have the power to shift things. You shift your results with your words. So when you hear people say, pay attention or be careful what you say, that's what they mean. Remember, I said you got to know why. Be careful what I say for what. It's my mouth, whatever comes to my mind, I can say it out of my mouth. I have the free will to do that. For what? Oh, until you realize that what you say is dictating your results. Now you know to pay attention and be careful what you say out of your mouth because your life will come into alignment with it. Your words align your life. I want you to think about that. And that right there is something that you need to write down in your attractive thinker notebook, just like I'm doing right now. Your words align your life. Now you know you've learned two important things today: the value of your heart and the value of your words. Another thing you said, Tichet, was you said people sometimes break your heart. And when I heard you say that, a thought came to my mind: people break my heart. I wonder how. People can only break my heart if I give them my heart. You can't break something of mine that I don't give you or that you don't have. If I don't give you my heart, you can't break my heart. So what does that say? It means pay attention who you give your heart to. Be mindful who you give access to your heart. We can minimize a lot of people breaking our heart by understanding who to give your heart to and who not to give your heart to. Your heart is valuable. It's like, when you think of your heart from this day forward, I want you to think about a treasure box, something of value. And it determines and it governs everything about your life. Something of value that someone gave you that is priceless. So when you think about that, you don't give that to everyone. You don't give the key to your heart to everyone and have people walking past, oh, give me the key. Oh, sure, here's the key. And they're unlocking your treasure, unlocking your heart, not even hanging around, not even honoring your heart, kicking stuff around in your heart, turning things upside down, ripping things, breaking things. And then they throw the key on the ground, step on it and kick it and keep on moving. They don't even hang around to find out, what happened or what did I offend your heart? Did I break your heart? Did I damage your heart? You don't give your key to your heart, the key to your heart to any and everybody. When you understand that your heart, when you understand the value of your heart and that your heart is everything. So I hope we're dropping gems along the way, attractive thinker, for a reason. And I hope you're capturing them. Another thing you said, Tichet, that made me think, you said, this thing is not coincidental. Nothing is coincidental. That's what you said. And when you said that, you said something to the fact that actually, these are my notes. You said nothing is coincidental. And I wrote down, we are creators, so we're creating a lot of this. Nothing is coincidental.
Yes.
That means we can learn from a lot of this. As an attractive thinker, you make up your mind that whatever you have to experience in life, make sure you get something from it. Make sure you pull the gems and the jewels, the blessing and the lesson, like Tichet says, from these experiences so that you can use them to better your other experiences and to grow and evolve into new levels of yourself. No experience shall be wasted when you're an attractive thinker. Nothing shall be wasted. We can use everything. Okay. So another thing you were talking about something else, and you said you get tired. You were talking about, like fighting in the wind and resisting. You were talking about resisting, and you said you get tired. And I wrote down, I said, until you enter into acceptance. We enter into a season of acceptance after life breaks us, after a heartbreak, and you shift. This acceptance now shifts your focus to other possibilities. When you enter into this space of acceptance after a break, once you accept the place where you are in this break, now once you accept, see, if you don't accept it and you're resisting means you're resisting what happened. You're in denial of what happened. You're trying to make things the way they used to be. You're trying to go back to the way they used to be. You're still trying to function and operate and live and keeping everything the same. When something breaks, nothing stays the same. But if we're trying to, just put that book back over there, that's where so and so used to have them, or don't sit in that chair, that's where so and so used to sit, or don't talk about that, don't mention their name, or put that dress back. Those days are gone. Something broke and everything changed, and now you're not even living in reality. You're living in another world. And if you're not present and you haven't accepted the world that has been presented to you, this unfamiliar place, then you're living beyond a break, but in the old reality. Can you imagine the trauma and the dysfunction and the self-inflicted pain that we bring upon ourselves when we don't move forward into the space of accepting life beyond a break? And it takes time. And it doesn't take as much time when you're surrounded by other attractive thinkers who know. We've been living on this planet long enough to know what happens after our heart breaks. This is not our first heartbreak. It's not our first heartbreak. So we know these things happen in cycles, and we learn from them, we pour from them. So we've learned from our last heartbreak how to apply it to this heartbreak, how to function in this heartbreak, how to function in life beyond this break. And that's why it's important to capture these gems and jewels along the way in your attractive thinker notebook while you're journeying, while you're praying, while you're discerning and assessing your heart while it's broken open, so that you can use those tools, those lessons and those blessings and the things that you discovered in your heart while it's broken open. While it's open, pay attention, sift through there and see what you find. You might find some age-old answers that you've been looking for years while your heart is broken open. But it's hard to do this work with a broken heart if you're not surrounded by people who live life, who thrive in life beyond the break. Tichet, give us some closing remarks before we close out, and let our attractive thinkers know how to take what we've shared today and apply it to their lives beyond the break.
Absolutely. Like we said, when you go through a break, you come to a crossroad and you say, now what? Your now what, again, depends on what you believe. It depends on the meaning of what you believe, the why of what you believe. So when you decide to let go of the negative energy, and you decide to let go of the negative self-talk, and you let go of the bitterness and the resentment and the hurt, when you let go of that and you start accepting the peace of it, you will feel lighter. So as you feel lighter and calmer, now you can think more clearly and you can make a decision from a level head. When you get to your now what experience, it all depends on what you know. It all depends on what you feel like you're creating, what you feel like you are, or no, what you know you are, who you know you are. What you are, who you are makes the biggest difference in the world. Not knowing who you are, detrimental to your health. We talked so much last week about if your heart isn't in it, I suggest you watch it, because we went deep into what happened when you allow your heart, when you allow yourself to keep moving when your heart is not in it. So now what? What is your heart in? What, understanding how precious your heart is. It's the one thing you're gonna get if your house catch fire. It's the one thing you're gonna grab when everything is coming at you. It's the one thing you're gonna grab and make sure that's okay. It's okay to stop for a second and be and assess like you would if you had to go wait in an emergency room waiting room. You know, you get your identification, you go in there, you tell them what's going on, but then they have you sit and wait. And a lot of times in those waiting rooms, you start assessing, how did I get here? How did I get to this point? What happened? You know, and then you start looking at it through the right lens, and then you start looking and searching for more answers. So I would suggest that you assess your heart. Where is your heart? Where are you? Where is your beliefs? Where do they stand? What is your standard? I said all the time, maintain or raise your standard. You know, and where is peace in all of this? We want to follow peace in all of this. Because here's the thing, like you said, Dr. Toni, if you go and you move into a new home, but you find a way to bring all the old things into a new place, in a minute, it's going to start to feel like the old place. You're creating the same life over and over again. So you start, even if you go to a new city, you say, I can't stay in this city. I got to move out of the city. It don't make no sense. You have not met everybody in that city, but your perception of that city is what you believe about that city, right? And you say, I got to move out and I got to go here. And you're used to doing this in the city because you're like, oh, I keep going around in the same circles, in the same cycle, right? So then you go and you move into another city, and then you start trying to fit your old routine in the new city. And next thing you know, you still ending up in the same place, just a different space. And you're recreating the same life in a different space. We're supposed to, when we go around, when we find our way back to the beginning, we go up a level and then go, and then up a level and then go. We're supposed to elevate. We're supposed to keep going up. What did we learn? If you find that you end up in the same situation again, stop for a second. Okay, how do I break this cycle? And look, we got the break the cycle specialist right here who can help you get your vision together so you can break that cycle. We don't want to keep going through the cycles, keep recreating the same life. We're supposed to evolve. And there's tools to help you do that. There's ways, and there's two people right here that's helping you see beyond what you're looking at. Because it's your perception that makes all the difference in the world. So fix your lenses first. Fix your lenses according to yourself. Fix your lenses about your situation. Fix your lenses concerning your meaning. And really dig deep down into your heart and adore it. Take care of your heart. See the preciousness of it. Because some of us will protect our external things before we protect our heart. You won't go and lend everybody your purse, right? You don't, some of us, when we go somewhere, we have a purse, we'll take it with us to go to the bathroom because we don't know what's going on with all these people in this room. Somebody might take something that is of mine, because some of us, like me, got our life in our purse. We got everything in our purse for if anything go on, if you dump my purse out right now, you can learn so much about me, right? Not too much, because I'm more than my purse, but our whole life is in our purse, right? Some of us need to clean out our purse, right? That's a call for some action, right? But you're not going to just leave your purse around people you don't know and just trust that they're not going to go through it, rip through it, and take something that's precious. Well, your heart is like that. When you go somewhere, you take your heart with you. You don't just trust everybody with your heart. You guard your heart. You guard your heart with everything that you have, because in it is you. You are in your heart. Your identity is in your heart. Your meaning is in your heart. So you want to guard that, but you can't guard what you don't first see as precious. Why do you feel like your heart is not precious? Who told you you're not a treasure? Who told you you're not the gift? You are the treasure. You are the gift. Some of us is waiting the gift to get to us not knowing we are already the gift. You say, are you saying that we are God's gift to earth? Absolutely. If you have a gift that God put in you, guess what? You are the gift from God. And you shouldn't hide that. You got some stuff you got to create. He gave you the gift not for you to sit in the house and go, yeah, I did that, or yes, I have this. No, he put it in you so you can teach. He gives you and you teach. He gives you and you teach. It's a cycle. If you learn anything about life, everything seems to be a cycle, but you got to make sure you're in the right cycle. It's when you're in the wrong cycle, you got to break that so that when you're unhappy, you're in a cycle that's not your real life. And that's why you got to break that cycle so that you can create a new life over here. But as you're learning, you're teaching. You teach to learn. You give, you receive. You receive, you give. It's like saying you get to give, right? But then the privilege is you get to give. It's a difference in that energy there. You get, meaning you receive, so you give, versus you have the privilege of receiving, so now you give. There's two things with that. So how you view a thing makes all the difference in the world. The energy on it makes all difference in the world. You're now what can shift and shape your whole entire life when you got the right lenses on. So welcome to Beyond the Break, where we are giving ourselves a fighting chance every single day. We know there's life beyond the break. We know there's so much more beyond the break. We know that all the jewels and the gems we have is gonna help us later on in life beyond the break. We didn't give up in the break. Sure, we got every scar to show for it. I'll show you my scar. Look, I got this one when I thought I could jump too high, but I learned later I was jumping from the wrong place. You know, we got all these things and we start saying, look, these are my war scars. This is this. And we start, and you look at them and you don't look at them with pain. That's how you know you're beyond the break. When you can look back at your life without feeling the pain over and over again, it's not saying it ain't gonna move you. It's saying you're not gonna look at it with bitterness. When you can look at it and give gratitude based on it all, you have made it beyond the break. If you have not made it beyond the break, I want to give you hope today. I want to tell you that this does not disqualify you. If you are in the break right now, that break did not disqualify you. It exposed you. It exposed your characteristics. It's showing you some of the greatness and the treasure that's in there. It's letting you know your heart is worthy to be protected. It's telling you there's more for your life. Because if you weren't meant to break, you would sit there and do nothing. You would be dormant. But out of it is your gift. So a lot of people that we see that we admire, the reason why we admire them is because they took their break and made it into something. They took their break and they decided to share it to the world. Then they realized how much goes into trying to get back to where we were or trying to move forward. And they start sharing everything they learn. So beyond the break, like I always say, it's where it's at. So congratulations, you made it. You made it past this moment. If you are breathing, if you are listening to the sound of our voice, I celebrate you. You made it beyond that break. You conquered the moment. Now what? Now you grow. Now you put things in the right alignment and the right identity and having the right identity. Now you build a life worthy of its story. Now you know there's so much more for you. So your now what is to be celebrated every day. So welcome to Beyond the Break. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Awesome. Attractive Thinkers, I trust that you have captured these gems along the way during this message today, and you didn't let one gem hit the floor. I am so excited for you. We are so proud of you. We love to see you connect with us and get these gems and tools and implement them in your life. We enjoy your comments. Thank you so much for commenting on our messages, letting us know that you're getting something from it. It's healing you. you, it's helping you, it's supporting you in living life beyond the break. I want to remind you to click the subscribe button to our YouTube channel. I want you to click the like button, turn on the notification bell, and share this message that you just heard with your circle of influence, because living life beyond the break is not something that happens automatically. You have to get the right tools in order to do so. So share these tools with your circle of influence. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your break the cycle specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. You always hear me say, my life's work is always to make your life better. It is not what you're going through, it's how you're doing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon.